Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the Etoft21Sports Show for October 21st. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind Etoft21Sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My boy Mike from Eat Watch Bet is this week's special guest. Really excited. I've always wanted to have him on. Our schedule's finally worked out where he's able to come on. Him and I are going to look back at week 7 plus share our week 8 bets. And Gino will have his horse racing bet of the day from Keelan. But before I get all that, I'd like to say thank you to the sponsor of the show, Prop Hex. Guys, if you're not using Prop Hex, this peer-to-peer betting exchange is the future of sports betting. Go to the App Store, download the app, use promo code ETOFT21. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Now let's see what Gino from DRF.com has for his horse racing bet of the day.
Weekend at Keeneland, and we'll be heading over to Churchill in Kentucky, but next weekend will be the Breeders' Cup, so you want to head to drf.com and check everything out for the Breeders' Cup. Let's see if we can make some money on Saturday at Keeneland, and we're going to take a look in race number 8 here. So this is a really competitive group in the grade 3 Bryan Station. The horse who I like in this spot is the number 10, 8-1 on the morning line. This is Simulate. Coming out of a race at Kentucky Downs, this course was out wide. Just didn't really seem to like the Kentucky Downs turf course there. Put a line right through that, and you're looking back at the Secretariat when finishing second right behind Giacoso, getting a wide trip. Prior to that, beating a horse like Plensa. I think Simulate in very nice form. 8-1 on the morning line. Anything around 5-1 feels good. That's going to be on Saturday at Keeneland, race number 8. Head to drf.com for everything you need when you play the races. Good luck this week.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me Gino B. And also make sure to check out drf.com. Click on sports. They have some great sports betting bonuses. You can get up to $5,000. Gino and I are going to go through the NFL betting card later on drf.com, so make sure to check that out. Now, let's welcome this week's special guest from Eat, Watch, Bet, the man that thinks Josh Heupel is the best coach in college football, my boy Mike. Mike, how you doing today, my man?
I can't complain, my man. I appreciate you having me on, E-Man. It is great to be here with y'all. Excited to talk a little NFL Week 8.
So I need to ask you, man, you're a Vols guy. How do you feel about your Vols, dude?
Actually, I'm not. I'm a lifelong Alabama fan. Yeah, I was born and raised here, but all my family's from Huntsville. My granddad actually played. He was a lineman for Bama back in the 40s. So I was born and raised out. And so I'm living high on the hog these days after that nice blowout win over the Vols. But yeah, there's not too much orange up here this week. There was a lot of it before that beatdown. But yeah, I'm happy. Not too many happy neighbors around me though.
Yeah, like I live in the Chicago area. People don't like when I fly my Lions gear around at all. They are very against me and my Lions love. So I know how that feels, but we're not here to talk about that stuff. We're going to talk a little NFL. We're going to look back at week 7. So interesting week. A lot of stuff happened. Interesting to hear what your takeaway is, my man.
Yeah, for me, man, I mean, there was a ton of craziness went on as usual in the NFL, right? It stands for not for long, right? All kind of changes always going on. You can follow the money moves all week long, and it's a lot of times it's wrong. You'll see a line move, 2-3 points, and you think you've got a win in your back pocket. It turns out to be the wrong side. For me personally, and the folks that follow me, I think it's the Sunday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers beating the Falcons. Every tout out there I saw was, just lining up to bet the Falcons just because they played a perfect game on Monday night, the week prior against the Bills, won outright as a nice, 6-point dog there. And everybody was on Atlanta. And I thought it was a good, sell high spot on it and a good buy low spot on San Fran there. So I was really glad that worked out. And really, the Niners have impressed me. A ton of injuries, and it really hadn't drug them down as much as I thought it would. Mac Jones has looked good. One of my Bama guys there, shameless plug there. But hot take, Christian McCaffrey, CMC, is still really good at football. I mean, they could just hand it to him 20, 30 times, throw it to him out of the backfield 10 times. That was pretty much their game plan. And kind of an ugly Sunday Night Football win. But yeah, that's what stuck out to me. How about you, my man? You have one game that really stood out to you?
A couple of comments. Lots of chalk last week. Penix sucks. Mac Jones should be the starter. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Yeah. It's going to be interesting this week.
I agree.
Purdy rushes back to become the starter. It's really going to be interesting because you got to think, what are they, 3-0 with him? So you have to feel he is on it. My takeaway, I'm going to Mile High. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. I think long-term, the Giants losing to the Broncos may actually help them. If the Giants had won that game, they'd be sitting at third, right behind the Cowboys in the NFC East, with a win over the Eagles in hand. I think that would have tempted them to make a short-sighted move, trading draft capital to get a playmaking wide receiver, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, even a Jacoby Myers. And that kind of move would have hurt their ability to build for the future. Instead, keeping those draft picks gives them a chance to fix what they really need to fix, the offensive line. Right now, Runyon, 53rd out of 82 guards per PFF. Van Rotten is 38th. Emerald is 51st out of 77 right tackles. This group isn't cutting it. You don't burn future assets drafting a wild card spot to lose to the Bucks, Eagles, Lions, 49ers, Rams, whoever in the playoffs. They need to commit to the trenches, build this thing the right way. Then in a year, maybe two, they can make their push. I like Dart. When I did my draft rankings, I actually graded Dart higher than Ward. So they got their guy. Now they just need to build from the inside out and get some stability. This loss also gives them a clean out from Shane Bowen, who has shown he's not a capable defensive coordinator for 4 years now. 2 in Tennessee, 2 here. It's the same story. When we look at this Giants defense, the guys that they have up front, Thibodeau, Burns, Lawrence, these guys should not be as bad as they are. They are the 20th worst defense per DVOA. With that front, it should be a lot higher. It gives them an out on the DC. They keep their draft capital. They don't force the move. So as crazy as it sounds, dude, I think them not winning that game helps them long term.
Yeah, I could see that because you don't want them to get, what is it? One of the cruelest things in the NFL is what? False hope, right?
Oh, dude, but it's happened though. I think that's a good term because look at the position. And I'm not going to say like this is going to happen to them, but look at the position the Dolphins are in right now. The Dolphins are stuck with Tua. They made that playoff run. They're stuck with Tua now, and they have to pay him. Now their coach is out. Tua got benched last game against the Browns. They have no future. It's like making the playoffs when you're a team like the Giants, as crazy as it sounds, it hurts your long-term development. You want to do it, I feel, the right way. And look, I'm a Lions fan. It was a while, but we did it the right way. We built from the inside out, and we got our guys, and we're just kind of building it. And even when we lose dudes, and coaches, we still are one of the better teams because we have the bodies. And I think that's the way they should do it too. I think people should follow the Lions blueprint a little bit.
There's no doubt, man. You gotta build the big boys up front. That's who, they don't get a lot of pub. Everybody wants to talk about the sexy wideouts and the running backs or quarterbacks, but it's the big guys up front and the D line. I mean, that's and you nailed it. That's what I'm not a Lions fan, but I respect the way they've done it. My boss is a huge Lions fan. Shout out, what's up, Chris? But they've built it. They kept their eye on the prize, and now they're in the middle of something special. I think they're going to be, just a perennial contender. It looks like.
I mean, and it's been but it took them so long to get someone in, and when you look at even last year, and I'll die on this horse. If they had anyone but Aaron Glenn as their DC, they would have at least one Super Bowl. Now, they got Kelvin Shepherd, and I don't think people are appreciating what this guy has done. Now, before all this stuff happened with the Ravens, he contained that Ravens offense on Monday Night Football.
He did.
Baker was everyone's MVP. He was Jesus walking on water. He could do no wrong. They didn't have over 200 yards until the fourth quarter. And he's playing with how many backups in the back four? So I don't know. What they're able to do, I really think I was low on them this year because I didn't know about the OC and the DC. Sure. But I'll be honest, I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing from my boys.
Same here. They covered for me last night. I was happy they got it done. Relatively sweat-free, too. I mean, just,
I had St. Brown over 75.5 yards, and it hit 20 minutes into the game. I was like,
rocking chair winner, baby. Gotta love that.
So let's dive into it. Let's dive into the bets, but before we dive into the bets, we need to take a look back and see how we did last week. Disappointing 3-3 last week with Justin hitting the Cards plus 6.5, the Seahawks minus 3.5, but lost the Saints plus 5.5. Old Uncle Rico hit the Bengals plus 5.5, lost the Chargers minus 1.5, and the Titans plus 7.5. For the show, we are 26-16 in our bets. So a good disappointing week, 3-3, but 26-16 can't really. And you know what? I completely agree with the statement. I hate FIU as well.
I'm in that camp too. I had the Panthers myself plus 3.5 in pocket. And how do you miss a 23-yard field goal? I would like to know. You got one job. Yeah, one job.
The joys. So let's go ahead. We each got 3 bets. Mike, you are the guest, and why don't you lead us off, man? What is your first bet?
You set me up perfectly there, Eric. I appreciate it, man. We're talking about the Giants here. I'm going to fade them this week, man. I don't like laying a lot of chalk in the NFL. I'm breaking my own rule here. I laid 6.5. Eagles minus 6.5 or minus 120 over at Hard Rock. Bet that earlier this morning. Just buying the quick revenge angle, man. The whole world just saw this Philly team get embarrassed. I mean, just boat raced on Thursday Night Football. Just a couple of weeks ago, the 17-point beatdown they received in front of the whole world in prime time against these same G-men. Time to make things right for Philly. They scared me a little bit on offense. Their offensive line's banged up. That's why Saquon's not really, off to a great start this year. But man, oh man, in that Vikings game last Sunday, they showed a lot of explosiveness. Hurts hooked up with A.J. Brown on 2 medium-length touchdown passes. Also hit a bomb to my Bama boy, Devontae Smith, 79 yards out. Giants have been feisty with the rookie QB Jackson Dart under center. But you got to worry about what kind of headspace this team's going to be in, man. They just blew an 18-point lead that you alluded to in the fourth quarter last week against Denver. I mean, do they get up off the mat? That's from, to go. This is a back-to-back road spot, too. That's just tough here. I'm laying the points with Fly Eagles Fly here. My number made it closer to around 12. I just think this is a good revenge angle here. I don't buy into it too much in the NFL, but since it's such a quick turnaround, I think I got the Eagles win this with 27, Giants 14.
I like this one too. I mean, I think this is a complete revenge factor. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think DeBull is that good of a coach, like how you're able to rally the room and everything.
Yeah.
Our boy, let's make some money. I love the Eagles here too, Mike.
Nice. Appreciate that. Yeah. What's wrong with Barkley? Yeah. I think it's a combination of 2 things, really. I was talking about this with the guy at my work today. It's the banged up O-line. They're missing some key pieces, and that's how they have had their success, is just pushing people around. I don't think, center Landon Dickerson? I don't know if he's going to be back anytime soon or not. He's really the heart and soul of that O-line. That hurts Barkley. Also think he's probably a little bit just gassed. I know it sounds crazy, but he got a ton of touches last year, man. A ton. And so you got to wonder, it just could take him a while to, get back to his old self here. But, it's still relatively early. I think Saquon will, start looking more like his old self. But you just see it, Philly. They're not giving him the carries like they were. Maybe it's a chicken and egg kind of thing. Maybe it's just because they're, it's not the run's not been working as successfully as last year.
Mike, you're my boy and everything. I don't know what the saying chicken and egg thing means, dude. You're my boy, dude, but I don't know what that means.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Are they running it? Are they not running it because it's not working? Or are they not, they're not running well just because of the O-line, I guess.
One of my big futures. Now, I don't usually go that really big on player futures. Sure. One of my biggest bets was for the future market was Saquon Barkley under 14.5 rushing yards. I mean, he had gone over that total once, and that was last year. And with how many touches he's had and the trend of how many people struggle after getting that many touches, I agree with you. I think his body's wear down. The offensive line's been hurt. I just think it's that.
And then you got the wide receiver room. You got Smitty and Brown been griping and complaining about not getting the ball enough. And I think the wide receiver divas, but that's part of the narrative. I think they're trying to force the ball to them too.
Yeah, I think the OC is a little bit over his head too. 4th and 8 from Kennesaw's 10. Let's see what FI does.
Look.
My first bet, and look, I am a disgusting man. I am a disgusting man. Give me the Miami Dolphins plus 7.5. Look, I hate myself for doing this, but this is something I have to do. You guys know what I say all the time. Gambling's about buying low and selling high. And this week, we're buying stock in the Miami Dolphins. They're coming off an ugly loss to the lonely Browns. And that's exactly where I want to get in. Now, let's talk some trends. Team who's coming off a 22-point loss or more cover 54% of the time with a 3.7% ROI. If they're an underdog in that spot, it jumps to 55.4% ATS with a 7.2% ROI. And when the underdog's catching a touchdown or more, 56.2% ATS with a 7.9% ROI. Now let's look into the matchup. I really think this fast turf at Mercedes-Benz Stadium plays right into the Dolphins' offensive speed. Atlanta ranks 22nd DVOA against the run, giving up 124 yards per game, and they just allowed 171 to the 49ers last week. They're also 21st DVOA defending the running back in the passing game. This is important because Devon Achane is the centerpiece of this Dolphins defense. And when you look at the passing game, he leads them. He's second in both targets and receptions. He's in line for a big game here. Now, when we look defensively, this is really what jumped off the board to me. Miami loves to blitz. They blitz the 5th highest rate in the league. Now let's look at how Penix does against the blitz per Summer Sports. 34.6% completion percentage. That's 40th out of 40 qualified QBs. 4.4 yards per attempt, 32nd out of 40. 230 passing yards, 32nd out of 40. And he has yet to throw a touchdown pass. So worst out of everybody while facing pressure. Now compared to Tua, the Falcons have the highest blitz rate in the league, and Tua shreds the blitz, and that's because the whole Dolphins passing game is just designed to get the ball out of his hands quickly. First in completion percentage, first in yards, first in touchdowns when pressured. Another angle here is the red zone efficiency. The Falcons rank 29th in red zone offense, while Miami sits 9th. That's a big gap. So if the favorite in the Falcons is only getting 3s, and when the Dolphins get into the red zone, if they're scoring, that's going to be a big difference. I know everyone's going to mention Miami's run defense. Believe it or not, it actually looked a little better last week. They only allowed 104 yards, to Cleveland Browns. So I'm sticking with the trends, trusting the matchups. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins plus 7.5. I found this one offshore over at good old Bookmaker. Woo.
Go. Hey, you got to have stones to play the Dolphins these days. I actually like it. I subscribe to that theory as well, man. I approach gambling. I know it sounds crazy as an investment: buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
Good time to do this here. Getting a lot of Tua and companies getting a ton of negative pub. It's a good time to, their backs against the wall. Everybody wants McDaniel fired. Would be just like him to come in here and pull the outright upset, or at least hang up here. Love getting that hook, especially you nailed it there with a solid running back like Achan. A theory I subscribed to years ago was looking for underdogs that can run the ball, call them the running dogs, and I think Miami could be the running dogs here in this spot. So,
my prediction at the beginning of the year was, as soon as Penix gets benched for Cousins, that's where I'm going to bet the Falcons to make the playoffs.
Love it.
I'm not the biggest Penix guy. I'm not the biggest Michael Penix guy. Yeah. I don't think he's only made it one season where he didn't get hurt. And if you really look at those numbers he did last year, you take out the last game of the season where he played the Panthers. It was just an arena game. Like, they're not that good, dude. You know what I mean? Next one. And you know what? Oh, so this is my next one. Sorry. This is one I was going to do, but I saw you beat me to it. So give it to me, my friend.
Yeah, going Houston Texans on the money line. I got -105 at DK earlier today. Again, we talk about buying low, selling high, right? Texans looked like garbage on Monday Night Football, got beat by the Seahawks. Even though Seattle turned the ball over 4 times, the Texans still couldn't get a win there. So, yeah, good buy low spot here, I think, on D'Amico Ryans' club. And at the same time, yeah, the Niners cashed for me last Sunday night on Sunday Night Football, but good time to sell them at a high. We mentioned the injuries, a ton of them going on there for San Fran. Yeah, they've overcome it, but really like the travel spot here. We have the West Coast team traveling east for a noon Central Time kick. It's going to be like 10 a.m. to the body clock. So you go to, what is it called, E-Man? The circadian rhythms of sports.
The circadian rhythm?
And so I would like it better if this was on Eastern Time and not Central Time, but still, that 2-hour time difference, that sucks, man. I mean, it really does. It's going to feel like 10 a.m. to them. We just saw in a similar spot, they played Tampa a couple weeks ago and got beat. They had to make that long trip, cross country. Didn't handle it too well. Got beat, I think, by 11 by Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. Houston's on a short week. I don't love that aspect, but they got a tough defense. The offense has been kind of a mess, but their D's pretty nasty. 5th in yards per rush allowed. Niners offense ranks dead last in yards per rush gained. Houston's also played a pretty tough schedule, man. 7th toughest schedule so far, according to Sagarin. Niners have played just the 19th toughest. This is a max effort spot right here from D'Amico Ryans. I've always loved him as a coach. Yes, I'm biased. He is an Alabama guy, former Bama linebacker here. But I just think this is a Houston spot. I'm going to go Texans 21, Niners 17 in a low-scoring affair on Sunday afternoon.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, they had 3 or 4 turnovers from Seattle. Couldn't get it done.
Oh, brutal.
And I think this is a selling point of the 49ers. Like,
yeah,
was the 49ers success what they were doing defensively, or was it the issues that the Falcons have? Because no Fred Warner, no Bosa.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know that the Texans offense hasn't really been electric this year, but they are better in the red zone than the Falcons are. The Falcons' big issue is they can't score once they get in the red zone. And I think D'Amico Ryan is going to have some stuff up his sleeve to limit CMC and to make whoever's at quarterback is uncomfortable. And I think the big angle here, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, hinting at it, does Brock Purdy rush back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that toe. I don't know. Yeah, that toe.
Well, we need to remember, rewind. Who was it that Shanahan wanted to draft? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, that's right.
Lynch pushed back, and he wanted Lance, and they ended up going with Lance instead. Total disaster. Now, Purdy, same draft, last pick in the draft because he was undersized. You know what I mean? Is Shanahan going to go with the guy that he wanted all along for his offense?
Sure.
And I know people are
Max played really well. I mean, he really has. He shocked a lot of folks on Thursday Night Football. Was it 3 weeks ago against the Rams? They were like a 9.5 point dog, one outright. I mean, he's a gamer, man. He's a gamer. He's making the most of his opportunity. I don't know. I think going to Purdy right now could be a step down for Mac the way he's playing, just like you said earlier. Crazy to say that. But,
I just looked. I think we can put a knife in Kennesaw State. Rest in peace.
It's down in flames.
Dolphins really flipping to it. Yep, we're rolling with flipping to it.
There you go.
My next bet, and you know what? I didn't think it was possible, but we're getting grimier. Give me the Tennessee Titans plus 14.5. All right, here we go. Another one. I hate myself, but this is what we do. Talk about it. Gambling, buying low, selling high, and that's exactly what we're doing. Is there a team higher than the Colts right now? Is there a team lower than the Titans? Division underdogs getting 14 points or more, cover 54% of the time, 4.1% ROI. When they're on the road, it jumps to 56.4% with an 8.6% ROI. Now, look, I was on this Colts team early during the AFC preview show that we did on this stream. I told everyone to bet them plus 430 to win the South. But I just feel this is the spot where regression hits. I talked about pressure earlier with Penix. Daniel Jones is 13 for 13 in his last passing attempts while facing pressure. That is absolutely insane, and that's a type of stat that just doesn't hold up over time. Regression is coming. And when we look at the Colts secondary, this is the problem. We don't know if Kenny Moore is going to go. Kenny Moore is one of the best slot corners in the game, but he's still working back from Achilles issue. If he doesn't, this could defense, the back four, is it going to hold up? Jones, 40 coverage grade, 94th out of 110 corners. Blackman, 51.6 coverage game, 88 out of 110. Now, if Moore can't go and Lamon steps in, he has a 51.6% coverage game, hasn't played enough snaps to qualify. He's a rookie from Tulane. Even if Moore does play, I think Ridley and the rookie Amamoran, whose name I can never pronounce, have a clear matchup advantage on the outside. This opens up the potential for a backdoor cover late. Now, historically, teams that have won by 14 or more and are now home favorites cover just 47% of the time. Another red flag here for Indy. Colts are just 17th DVOA against the run, and the Titans' offensive line is finally getting healthy. If they can get Pollard and Spears going, I think they can shorten this game and they can hang around. And here's another trend, okay? Teams with a 200 winning percentage or worse, getting between 12 and 27 points on the road, cover 55% of the time. When it's a divisional matchup, it jumps to 60.4% and a massive 17.5% ROI. Yep. To me, this is the perfect buy low, sell high point. Colts are the top of the market after that big win over the Chargers. Titans are bottom. It feels gross, but this is all what betting is. And I'm going to say this, like last week, there was a lot of public favorites that won. It was a lot. It was a rough week for me. I know that. But I think after a week like that, we usually see these grimy type dogs cover. We know that every single teaser and money line parlay is going to have the Indianapolis Colts on it.
Oh yeah.
Give me the Titans. It's grimy. It's grimy. What are your thoughts on Cam Ward?
Yeah, I honestly, I feel sorry for Cam Ward. I watched all that game, them being the local team here in Nashville. He's got no help. The line gives him no time to throw. He's got a cannon for an arm. Definitely has some tools. The Titans were actually in that game early. They had the lead early on against the Patriots, but I figured the Mike Vrabel revenge angle would be too much, and it was. And they were actually in it, even in the third quarter until Ward got hit and fumbled, and Patriots picked it up running into the end zone. So kind of a little bit of a misleading final score, I guess you'd say, with New England blowing them out. That touchdown really shouldn't have happened. I do like Ward. I think he's got the cannon. He's got some nice pieces. I'm really glad they fired Callahan. It was beyond time. He was terrible.
Oh, God.
The guys, if you watched any of that game, I know they still got beat, still got blown out, but they had a little more bounce in their step for Mike McCoy, which you usually see when the coach gets fired. But he can't do any worse than Callahan. And Do the Colts really care about blowing out the Titans here? I could see them, getting a 7-10 point lead, then just handing it off a million times, getting out of there with a win. And so, yeah, the back door's open. Titans almost pulled the backdoor cover a couple weeks ago against the Raiders on the road. The ball late was going to, go in for a backdoor cover. Didn't happen, but you never know. It's the same Titans team that, beat Arizona outright as what, an 8-9 point dog about 3 weeks ago. So I don't hate it, especially getting a couple touchdowns. Just about anybody in the NFL, I'll bet on getting over a couple touchdowns. It's tough, but
I think the key part of the game for the Titans, at the end of the second half, they were driving down, stalled out, did a little poor job mismanaging the clock, kicked the three, boom, a big play. Patriots scored, end of the half, and then right out of the half, they scored again. You know what I mean? That was kind of, they were up 24-13 to me. I was just like, dude, that's it.
That middle eight that they talk about so much in college football.
To me, that was it. Yeah. Now, my thing with Ward is I don't know which Ward we're going to have in the NFL. He was great that last year in Miami, but when we look at how he did at Washington State and what's incarcerated Ward, he was kind of turnover prone. You know what I mean? Is he going to cut down on those turnovers? Because that one turnover where he just dropped back and the ball just flew out of his hand, that was god awful.
Yeah, it was
utterly god awful. Next bet, my friend, and I'll tell you what, this is my favorite bet of the slate, and I'm gonna let you have it, dude.
Hey, man, what a guy. We kind of fought over this one here. We were putting it on the sheet, and I didn't know he already had it, so I do kind of feel bad. He's being a very gracious host here. Let me have this one. Yeah, I love the Steelers plus 3.5. Paid -120 at FanDuel this afternoon. Again, we talk about buy low, baby. Sell high, buy low. We love it here. Steelers just got embarrassed. Boat race by the lowly Bengals last Thursday night. 87.5-year-old Joe Flacco resurrected, pulls a Lazarus, raises, gets raised from the dead, whatever you want to call it here. So they get a little mini bye here, get extra time off to stew on that bad performance all week long. But they get a shot of redemption in another primetime spot here on Sunday Night Football. Great buy low opportunity here on the Steel Curtain. Look ahead line here was Green Bay -2.5. Was shocked to see it get out past the 3, even for a little bit of juice. Well worth getting over the field goal here with the home dog. My numbers make Green Bay just a 1.5 point favorite in this one, mainly because they just haven't looked that great on the highway, man. I mean, they just, haven't been as dominant on the road. What was it? Failed to cover last week against the Cards. I was on Arizona +7. They tied with the Cowboys back on September 28th. They lost outright as huge favorites to the Brownies back on September 21st. Just a lot to like about Pittsburgh here. That sounds crazy. Pittsburgh's 6th in sack rate. I think they can make Jordan Love at least a little bit uncomfortable for part of the game. I'm going to take the home dog here plus 3.5. And I'll be sprinkling the money line a little bit also. Boom. And I love to know that you like it already, and it made me put a little more on it. Let's go.
There are a million trends with Tomlin as a dog.
There you go. Yes.
Especially when it's over 3. There are a million trends. He is by far the best coach. Tomlin off a loss. Tomlin after his points give up 28. There is I have 55 trends I could randle off about Tomlin in this spot. Nice. Absolutely love it. And Rodgers is a petty dude. I mean, you don't think he has this game absolutely circled and ready to hammer it? My last one, and
God,
I have some of the most grimiest bets this week, and bets like this week, I feel good. And then Sunday, about 11:30, because I'm in Central the time zone, I really start looking at the card. I'm like, did I really bet these effing teams? Give me the New York Jets.
Ooh, yeah.
6.5. Now look, does this one suck? It does. But seriously, in what world are we trusting the Bengals defensively to cover 6.5 points? I get it. Aaron Glenn is over his head.
Yeah.
Tanner Eskren shouldn't be an offensive coordinator. Ownership is calling out Justin Fields. We don't even know who the starting quarterback is, but let's be real. Do we actually trust the Bengals to win with this much margin with their defense? Let's just run through the numbers. All these are per PFF. Fourth worst defense, third worst run defense, fifth worst tackling defense, sixth worst coverage defense, 11th worst pass rush. Now, that probably has a lot to do with Trey Hendricks. Hendricks didn't play last week against the Steelers. Was that due to an injury? Was that due to the fact they're looking to remove them? I don't know. Now, when we look at their DVOA, worst defense per DVOA, second worst pass defense, third worst rush defense. So again, are we trusting this defense to win by a touchdown? I'm not. Now, here's a trend worth noting. It's a crazy trend. Over the last 20 years, Cincinnati has struggled the week after playing the Steelers, covering just 41% of the time with a negative 20% ROI. Just a classic flat spot for them coming off a divisional game. Now, PFF has the Bengals graded as the third worst team in the National Football League. Do you know where they have the Jets graded?
Probably just below them, just a slot below them, maybe.
This blew my mind. The 10th worst team.
Wow.
So literally, they have a 7-team difference between the Jets and the Bengals. That's pretty big, dude. You know what I mean? That's not like one or two. That's a pretty big thing.
Wow.
Now, Joe Flacco, in his post-game interview, said he still doesn't know the playing book, but he was so familiar with the Steelers' defense and what they did defensively, he knew what to do against them.
Wow.
Now, Sauce Gardner is going to be back there. Sauce Gardner against Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is going to have the benefit there. Defensively, the Jets quietly been playing good football over the past couple of weeks, competing better, tackling better, kept the Broncos in check. They kept the Panthers in check. Cincinnati blitzes at the third lowest rate in the league. If Trey Hendricks doesn't play, they're really not going to get any pass rush, and that's a boost for whoever's under center for the Giants just because they've been so bad protecting. It's ugly. It's gross. It's one of those bets that make you want to take a shower after you make it, but there's no world where the Bengals defense and 40-year-old Joe Flacco should be laying this big of a number. Give me the New York Jets plus 6.5. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, you got Hurts, Stroud, and Aaron Rodgers. Three good quarterbacks. You know, Rodgers on the backside of his career. Three good quarterbacks. I got concussion Tua, turnover Cam. And I have no idea who's under center. Like that's who I'm betting. And it is absolutely, positively disgusting.
It's all right, man. It's all right. A mentor of mine taught me to bet way back in 2001. Yes, I've been betting a long time. I've been betting sports a long time. He said the hardest bets to make are usually the best ones. He said the hardest ones to click submit on are the ones that usually have the most value, the teams that nobody wants. And it's hard to do, but long term, you know, with all of those teams, you're getting 2, 3, 4 points of value that the books have inflated that line. So, yeah.
And I really think that people don't understand that enough. I think the books, especially in college basketball, they've gotten a little wiser to it.
Yeah. Because March Madness and
but
the underdog.
In college, like in NFL, I still think because so many people bet the NFL, there are those little spikes in numbers where you can get a little bit of value. And that's just what it is. It's about buying low, selling high. Like the guy that taught me everything about sports betting and everything, he hammered that in. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high.
That's it. I love
Mike,
it, dude.
I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, coming on. Looking forward to having you on again. Enjoyed you picking your brain and everything. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you on social media, my friend?
Yeah, X, just at Mike Noblin. Yeah, and you can find most of my stuff either on ewatchbet.com or bettersinsider.com. Also run a VIP pick service on Tails by Odd Shopper there. You can find me there. VIP picks just $20 a month. So rolling with that, having a ton of fun. Been a good season so far, man. Hope we can keep it rolling. But appreciate you having me on, man. And yeah, look forward. Hopefully we can do this on a regular basis. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, look forward to having you back on. Make sure to give that man a follow. We'll be back next week. Best of luck in your bets, and we'll talk soon, my friend.